video about how to put together your Xpert Xpole. You definitely should read your manual, very important, but when we were putting hers together, we got a little confused because there's the manual, there's the instructions online, there's also other YouTube videos online, and we were looking at all of them, and none of them seemed to say the same thing, so we were like, it was confusing, so this is our video about how to do it, but it is not to be used instead of the manual, very important. Yeah, okay. So, let's go over the parts that come with your Xpole.
This right here is the base.
For the floor.
Do note that it has two X's here for alignment. It's very important.
This is pole A. It's the longer one, and it is the one that has stuff going on at the bottom here. There's 3 little notches, and then this thing moves, and then there's 2 holes down here. And that one is the bottom pole. And then pole B is just a tube with holes in it, so that's how you tell pole A and B apart. And then this is the X joint, and it's what connects poles A and B. And it looks like that.
Which is never shown online, how to put A and B together.
Well, maybe we just can't follow other people's instructions. I don't know. All right, you want to do the extensions?
This is the longer of the 2 extensions. It has a joint that does come out. It's for ceilings 98 inches or higher. For anything smaller, you either use this smaller joint or no extension at all. This one's for 93 to 98 inches.
And this, in the smaller extension, there's a piece that comes out. If you're using the smaller one, you don't need to take it out, but if you're using the bigger one, that's where you find this piece, in the smaller one. Makes sense, right? Okay. Oh, and then your dome that goes on top.
And you have 2 tools. The smaller one is for pole A, attaching to the base, and this one's for attaching 2 pieces together at A and B.
Okay, so we're going to build our pole first. We're going to get rid of the longer extension because I don't have my ceilings. And then we're going to move that because we don't need it right now. Okay, so we're going to start by connecting poles A and B with the X joint. So you have all that stuff going on at the bottom of the pole. That's not where we're connecting it. You're connecting it where there's just this one hole on pole A, okay? And same thing with pole B. Actually is the same on both sides, as far as I can tell. So pick a side. And I'm going to have both those holes facing up. Then I'm going to take my X joint and have it like that. I'm going to have this part facing up. And you'll just slide it in, and your holes will align. Same thing on both sides. Make sure it snaps tight. There's a little seam there that it can kind of get stuck on, so don't get it stuck. And then you tighten them
with the bigger of the 2 tools.
And righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And sometimes when we were doing it, it makes this like pop noise, and you're like, oh, I broke it. But then it works.
Like
that.
It's good.
You'd be like, oh, but
that's necessary.
apparently that means, now
you did it right.
me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. Because it seems like it's tight. You're like, oh, and then it does that. So I don't know what that's about, but hey, you know what? Look, it's not tight enough. Okay, we accidentally moved the poles a little apparently while we were lining them up. So now the 2 poles should be touching, and you probably can't see, but there's a little space between, so we're going to loosen and do that again so that they're butted up against each other all the way. Okay, now give it a little pull. If they're not tight, you'll know they'll immediately come apart, but I think we got it. Alright, so we've gotten our A pole and our B pole connected with the X joint. So we're going to go ahead and put our extension on. I took this top piece out. So you'll notice on the side that's thicker with the tube, there's a little hole. Look in there and see if the thing that holds your screwer is aligned. And if not, just kind of give it a little knock because you're going to need that extra little millimeter. You want your thing to be able to actually fit in there and not be off center. So, yeah. And then there's a bigger hole on one side and a smaller hole on one. You're going to want the bigger hole up, and you're going to align it with this hole on the B hole. So kind of like you do with the X joint, just knock it in there and tighten it up. Got it. Whew. All right. Good stuff.
Make sure the seam is all the way together there.
Yep. And nice and tight, good to go. All right, the next step is to put your top piece on. So, take this thing, shove it in this thing. Make sure it goes all the way down. You need it flush. There we go. And then pop it on here. Ta-da. All right, and the last and most fun part, put that down. You want to do that yet? Yeah, it says. Okay, that's fine. Next, we're going to put on our bottom piece. So first, all right, you're going to loosen a ton of little screws. There's 3 up here. And you don't need to take them all the way out, just, here, scoot. There's 3 up here, and there's 2 down at the bottom. And you're going to be using the littler tool. All right, once they're loose, you'll be able to put your base in it. All right, and it's okay. All right, see they aren't touching? That's okay. I don't know why, but it is.
And you want to align these 2 screws with the X's there.
Okay, so now this little cover thing, you're gonna slide it down. It'll be kind of greasy underneath it, so don't rub your hands in it. Okay, so we found our spot in the ceiling, so we're going to go ahead and lift it up. We're gonna get it straight, and then we're gonna turn it counterclockwise. Okay, so we've screwed it all the way to the top, made sure it was level. Now we'll come back down here. Now you're gonna want your screws to align with the flat part of, ew, it's gross, that was dumb. The flat part of that, not the one that's got ridges. So align your screws with those, and then go ahead and tighten them. And then once you're done tightening, you can put this back up, screw it all the way. Yeah. There we go. And those should be flush now. You're just gonna pull on it a little, make sure, you know, it's not going anywhere. Test it out slowly. Don't go upside down right away. And yeah, yay, good to go.